RM shocked fans after revealing he had to attend a mental health clinic due to how much he suffered in the military. He was also spotted shaking uncontrollably at his military discharge. Jimin was forced to beg fans to leave, a moment that sparked outrage and disappointment. Rumors are now swirling. Could Jin be stepping away from BTS activities to pursue an acting career? And why international BTS fans feel let down? Watch until the end to uncover the full story. Jimin makes a heartbreaking confession saying, "The military is not an easy place." On June 11th, Jimin and Jungkook from BTS officially finished their mandatory military service. Their discharge took place at a public stadium, close to the base where they had served. Even though it was early in the morning, the stadium area was filled with excitement and energy as fans gathered to see them return. Around 8 a.m., the two idols stepped out of their vehicle to loud cheering. They smiled, accepted flower bouquets, and saluted the crowd. As they did, they said the word unity together, marking their return as civilians. Jimin talked about how long and difficult the past few years had been, mentioning both the pandemic and the military. He thanked the fans who waited for them and said they would now continue the journey they had dreamed of. He also said that serving in the military wasn't easy and encouraged people to be kind to soldiers they see on the street, even just by saying a few kind words. Jungkook looked very emotional. He admitted that he hadn't expected to speak that morning and hadn't even worn makeup. He thanked the soldiers and superiors who supported him and Jimin during their service, saying he was truly grateful for their care. After sharing their thoughts, the two waved at fans and left the area. By the time the sun came up, the area around the stadium had turned into a celebration. There was a brief moment of tension when a few fans climbed ladders to get a better view, which blocked others from seeing. Some fans asked them to move, and police officers quickly stepped in to manage the situation. Over 30 officers had been sent to keep things safe and handle traffic. Fans who couldn't go to the discharge gathered in front of HYBE's headquarters in Seoul, where the crowd looked more like a small concert than a sidewalk gathering. Jimin and Jungkook weren't the only ones returning. RM and V had been discharged just one day earlier. Suga is still finishing his alternative service and is expected to complete it by June 21st. Once that happens, all 7 BTS members will have completed their military duties. RM shocks fans. He revealed he had to attend a mental health clinic because of how much he suffered in the military. On June 10th, RM and V officially completed their military service. Just a few hours later, both of them logged onto Weverse. V started a short live stream that lasted around 10 minutes, greeting fans quickly. RM, on the other hand, took his time and opened up about what he had been through during his time in the military. RM explained that when they first began their service, the trainers told him to keep an eye on V. They said V was special and kind, and since RM was older and more experienced, he should look after him. But once their training ended and they were sent to different units, things didn't go the way RM expected. According to him, V actually had an easier time adjusting, even though he ended up in a unit that was more difficult. RM admitted that V seemed to handle military life better than he did. Then, RM began talking about his own experience, which he said was very hard. He spent about 1.5 years in the military and said it was mentally draining. The hardest part for him was not being able to sleep. He had already been dealing with insomnia before joining the army, especially because of stress and problems happening at HYBE. Once he was in the military, things got worse. He had to sleep in a room with 20 other soldiers, and the noise from snoring, tossing, and turning made everything harder. He said there were times when he didn't sleep at all, not even for a minute, for 2 whole nights. He stayed awake for over 72 hours straight and felt like he was going to collapse. He described lying down, wanting to sleep, but being unable to. He would keep overthinking, watching the clock as the hours passed. By 6 a.m., it would be time to wake up again. This happened more than once, and it left him feeling completely exhausted. Eventually, he realized he couldn't keep going like that and decided to get medical help. He visited a mental health clinic and was prescribed medicine to help him sleep. He told fans that he had been using the medication for over 1 year now. Even though it wasn't easy to talk about, he said it was important to be honest. The good news, he added, was that the medicine worked well for him and that he's been feeling much better lately. V didn't go into as much detail during his live stream, but RM's honesty gave fans a clear picture of how difficult military life can be, even for someone who's used to performing in front of thousands of people. RM was shaking uncontrollably. Another moment that caused major concern among fans was on June 10th. As RM and V stood in front of fans and news cameras, excitement filled the air. But many quickly noticed that RM didn't seem as relaxed or joyful as people had hoped. While RM and V waved and smiled, people noticed that RM's hands were shaking. Even though he was smiling for photos, he looked tense. It didn't take long for videos of the moment to go viral. On TikTok and other social media, fans started pointing out how RM seemed different from other idols who had been discharged. They zoomed in on his hands and talked about how emotional he seemed. What stood out the most wasn't just his shaking hands. It was how serious and anxious he looked compared to the usual happy and relaxed attitude many idols show when they finish their service. People online began discussing it, trying to understand what RM might have been feeling. In the comments, many fans reminded others that every person's experience in the military is different. Some idols finish their service without showing much stress. Others, like RM, may carry the emotional weight more visibly. Fans pointed out that RM had often hinted during his time in the military that he was counting the days until it was over. For them, it seemed like he had gone through a really tough time. Some people also talked about how military life can be hard, especially for someone like RM, who came from a world full of music, concerts, and fans. They brought up a live stream he did earlier, where he shared that he had struggled with insomnia while in the military. He even said he had to go to a mental health clinic and start taking medicine to help him sleep. Fans said that knowing this made his reaction on June 10th even more understandable. Instead of judging RM for looking nervous, many fans said they felt proud of him for showing his true feelings. They believed that his reaction wasn't a sign of weakness, but a reminder that even famous people go through hard times. Jimin appears to be in pain, sparking concern among fans. The following day, Jimin and Jungkook finished their military service and went live together to greet fans. The live stream was meant to be a happy reunion, but fans quickly noticed something that made them worry. Jimin didn't seem completely okay. During the broadcast, Jungkook tried to show affection in a friendly way. But when he touched Jimin, Jimin reacted in a way that caught fans off guard. He looked like he flinched or was hurt. The moment was quick, but strong enough to get people talking. Social media filled with comments from fans who were concerned about how Jimin looked and acted. This moment reminded many fans of what had happened just one day earlier with RM. When RM was discharged from the military, people noticed his hands shaking and said he looked nervous. Now those same thoughts were being shared about Jimin. Fans began to connect the dots. They remembered that Jimin had been very quiet during his enlistment. Unlike some of the other members, he didn't share many updates or interact much with fans while he was serving. Because of this, people started to wonder if Jimin had gone through something tough during his time in the military and was still adjusting to being back. Some fans said they thought Jimin might just need more time to feel comfortable again. Others were more worried, wondering if he had experienced something painful that caused his reaction. Since Jimin is known for being kind and gentle, his behavior during the live stream felt out of character, and that made the moment even more noticeable. At this point, there hasn't been any official word from Jimin or his agency, Hybe, about what happened. Fans aren't sure if it was just a small moment that looked more serious than it really was, or if it was a sign that military service had a deeper impact on him than people realized. What is clear is that many fans are hoping Jimin is okay, and that he has the time and support he needs. Military life can be hard, and coming back to public attention after being away for so long isn't always easy. Is Jin considering leaving his BTS activities to start an acting career? During a recent lie detector interview with Vanity Fair, BTS member Jin answered questions about whether he might act in the future, and the results got fans talking. When the interviewers asked Jin if he had any plans to become an actor, he confidently said no. But the lie detector didn't back him up. The machine marked his answer as untrue, which made fans curious. Jin has never acted professionally before, but many have wondered if he might try it someday. The lie detector's response made those questions even louder. Trying to clear things up, Jin repeated that he had no acting plans at all. He said it again just as firmly, but once more, the machine said he wasn't being honest. Then the questions changed. The interviewers asked if he wanted to act, even if he didn't have current plans. Jin replied that he didn't. But the test said that was a lie too. When asked why he wasn't interested in acting, Jin gave a serious answer. He explained that acting takes a lot of hard work and mental energy. He said it was a big challenge, and that kind of pressure didn't appeal to him. This time, the lie detector said he was telling the truth. The questions didn't stop there. Would Jin want to be in a K-drama? He said no. Would he agree to act in a movie even if the offer came from Bong Joon-ho, the famous director behind Parasite? He said he'd still turn it down. In both cases, the machine confirmed he was being honest. Even though Jin said he has no plans or interest in acting, the test results were mixed. He seemed truly serious about not wanting to deal with the stress of acting. But when asked if he had plans or interest deep down, the lie detector didn't believe him. This left fans wondering if maybe Jin is more curious about acting than he lets on. Right now, there's no news of Jin taking on any acting projects. Since he was just discharged from military service, he's likely focused on music and reconnecting with fans. Still, the lie detector raised some questions that fans won't forget anytime soon. Jimin had to beg fans to leave, a moment that sparked outrage and disappointment across the fandom. After they were discharged, Jimin and Jungkook greeted the press and fans near their old military base. But what followed wasn't as joyful as many had hoped. Even though their agency, HYBE, had clearly told fans not to gather in person, crowds still showed up. People filled the area near the stadium and later gathered in front of HYBE's building. HYBE had warned multiple times that the roads were too narrow and that the hot weather could lead to accidents, but those warnings were ignored by many. Later that day, Jimin and Jungkook did a live broadcast on Weverse. During the stream, Jimin noticed how many people were still standing outside the building. He politely asked them to go home, explaining that the alley was narrow and the high temperature made it dangerous to be out there for too long. Even though he was calm and polite, it was clear he was serious. He said he was thankful for the support, but safety needed to come first. Still, many fans didn't leave after the live stream ended. Because of this, Jimin wrote a message on Weverse later that day. He thanked fans again for coming, but said he urgently needed to ask them to go home. He reminded them again that the weather was hot and the space was small, and he was afraid someone might get hurt. He said he was truly grateful, but he ended his message by saying he was begging them to go home for their own safety. Soon after, the situation started spreading online. Fans who had watched the live broadcast in real time said it was hard to focus on what Jimin and Jungkook were saying because of how distracting the crowd was. Others said the noise and behavior of the crowd had ruined what was supposed to be a special moment. Many criticized fans who didn't listen to either the agency or Jimin's requests. Online discussions quickly turned into a larger debate about how far fan behavior should go. Many people said that supporting someone shouldn't mean ignoring their safety or personal space. They argued that showing respect and care also means knowing when to back off. HYBE hasn't made any official statement about the crowd issue, but with Suga's military discharge happening soon, some worry the same thing might happen again. Jimin's actions that day made one thing very clear. Even in moments of celebration, being famous can come with serious challenges. When fans ignore boundaries, even a happy event can become stressful. Why international BTS fans feel let down. After their military discharge, RM and V appeared together on Weverse Live for the first time since finishing their military service. After attending their official discharge ceremony, they went straight to HYBE's building in Seoul, where they started the live stream in a room decorated with balloons and cakes. Fans had waited nearly a year and a half to see them back on screen, and the live stream was meant to celebrate their return. But for many fans, that excitement quickly turned into frustration because of serious technical problems on the Weverse app. Even though the broadcast was short, it was an important moment. Fans were expecting the app to work smoothly, especially for something as meaningful as this. They looked forward to getting alerts when the live started and being able to read real-time translations. But that didn't happen. As the live began, many fans said they never received any notification. Some said their alerts came several minutes late, while others didn't get one at all. That meant many fans missed part or even all of the live stream. The situation was even worse for international fans who don't speak Korean. The live stream had no real-time subtitles, so they couldn't understand what RM and V were saying. People didn't stay quiet about it. Social media, especially X, filled with complaints. Fans posted screenshots and shared how disappointed they felt. Many said they were upset that Weverse wasn't ready for such a big moment. They didn't just call it a small mistake. They said it was a huge letdown. Some fans reminded others that live streams like this have become a tradition. Jin and J-Hope had done similar broadcasts after their military discharges, and those were very special to fans. These live streams are not just casual chats. They've become emotional moments that mark each member's return from military life to performing again. Now, fans are looking ahead to June 21st, when Suga is expected to finish his alternative service. Because of this, fans are already warning HYBE. They want the app fixed before Suga's return. They don't want another broken notification or missing translation to ruin what could be the group's most emotional moment yet. So far, HYBE hasn't made any public statement about the problems, but the reaction from fans has made it clear that technical issues, even small ones, can ruin something that means a lot to people. With only one member left to return, fans want everything to go right.